promise you the Supra is not dead. I just got some work to do, and that's what we're doing today, because for the first time in a while, we are actually doing some work on the Supra. So what is it that we actually need to do? Well, there's a few things, and it's mostly all happening right up in this area, right around here, and also right there. So I do want to be able to drive this car, and unfortunately, there's a few things that are keeping me from driving it way more consistently than I have been. I have been driving it, but honestly not too much because of a few issues, namely the battery. The battery is essentially completely dead. I've tried charging it up multiple times and it's not working, and then there's some other parts that have started to become issues that we need to address today in order to get it more consistent. Also, in addition, the heater on the inside hasn't been working right. In fact, the fans just don't work and it hasn't been heating up correctly, so I'm having some issues there, which I'm not as concerned about because you can just always throw on more layers in the meantime, but it's something that I do want to be able to address to see if I can get it fixed up a little bit. That's a little side priority right now because the main priority is the front end here. So quick little story. When I first wanted to get this car going again more consistently, I realized that one of the headlights was out, which is a big issue, especially in the winter, because it starts to get dark at around 4 o'clock, which means that you can't be driving with just one headlight, otherwise you're risking getting a ticket, and I didn't want that to happen. So I went ahead and I ordered a new set of headlights and I installed them. Now, the reason I didn't film that for you guys was because, well, this one actually came broken. It showed up and it was completely cracked. You can kind of see how fogged it is, and all along the side here is cracked. There's a big chunk missing along the bottom, and when compared to this other one, you can see how this one is all clear and nice and new, and this one has issues. But the bulb works, so I decided that I'm just going to go ahead and put it in so I can at least drive it a little bit, but I did need to get it replaced again, so I went ahead and ordered some new ones, and today we're going to be installing those. But more importantly as the headlights is the fact that the battery is pretty much dead, so we need to replace the battery. I'm actually going to steal the one from this Forester here. This is my friend's car and he just abandoned it. No, I'm just kidding. It broke down at the house here, so I'm just going to use the battery because it's been here a while, and that battery has the same configuration as this one, with the negative on the right hand side and the positive on the left. But there's something else we need to do first, because there's always something else. Right here, this connection is no bueno. It actually broke off, and I tried to do a quick patch, but it didn't work out well because I didn't have a new one of these clips available. I decided to try to reuse one that I had, and it didn't work right, so I went and bought some more. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that clip, so that way the connection is just fine here, so this could run fine. So all in all, what do we need to get done today? Well, it's a few main things. We want to do the headlights, we want to do the battery replacement, and we want to do the cable fix and see if we could try to at least diagnose where the heater is having an issue. I have one suspicion, and so I'm going to go ahead and look and see if that's the problem. So I'm going to begin by throwing that battery on the charger, and then let's dive into here and get that cable assessed. So let's begin. All right, so we got this connection all fixed up. This is a little loose right now because we're gonna tighten it all up once we actually get it back on. Let's focus, camera. But this is all loose right now because I'm gonna tighten it up once we actually get it on the battery connected. It's still charging. That shouldn't be done for another few hours. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install these headlights, and these are the new ones that I got. These are ones that I always thought were cool, but just never thought of getting them. So I'm gonna replace these ones that we have right here. It's just pull off the covers, and then the whole unit screws out from the front. I'm gonna need to take the bulbs from there, take those bulbs, put them in the back of there, and then those will be installed. So we're gonna begin by taking these old ones out and then getting those new ones in. So can't wait to get this done because I want to be able to drive this car a lot more, and I hate having these small issues that are hindrances. So let's get these broken headlights out of here and the working ones, the new ones, the ones that aren't cracked in the car. All right, let's go. All right, so you saw that the headlights worked, and in addition, the car actually turned on, which you guys heard. But the cool part about that was this is the first time since I bought the car that I've been able to turn it on without a jump box. So that's going to be incredibly convenient because that was annoying to try and have to keep a jump box in the car and always charge. It was probably one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest, I didn't drive it that much, because who wants to go down to a coffee shop downtown and then have to pull out a jump box and then have it be dead and get the car towed and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, now that that's sorted, the next thing I want to address is the heaters on the inside. So the car doesn't blow any heat on the inside despite the center console and the climate control system actually working. I can adjust the heat where it blows and all that, and the lights light up, which I had this similar issue, well actually the same issue with my old Supra, but it doesn't heat up at all, which is something that my other Supra didn't do. My other Supra would heat up and air would come through the fans as you drove faster and it would just blow through, but nothing actually to the point of where the blowers would turn on. So there is a little fuse down here in the corner that I'm going to try to see if I can get to pull out. It's this weird little spring thing, and it's usually the culprit, or it's what's common with these cars. So I'm going to see if I can pull that out and possibly solder it back together. If it is broken, at least that's what we're going to attempt to do and see what happens from there, because I don't have a replacement part right now, and I'm more just trying to see what the problem is to see if I can narrow it down, because, well, since it doesn't work, there's no harm in trying to pull it apart and see what happens. So let's go ahead and get that kick panel off and pull the piece out that I believe might be suspect. Alright, so this is a little relay we pulled out, and it looks fine. All the springs are connected, but I'm going to go ahead and clean everything up. It looks like there's some stuff on there. I don't think it's meant to be some corrosion, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get that all cleaned off, put it back in, and hopefully that'll help solve the issue, because it does look a little beat up. But we're going to go ahead and clean that up and then see if we can get that back in the car. Alright, so I got the piece fixed up as best as possible, fixed one of those coils-ish, not really, just got it connected back together and got a lot of the corrosion cleaned up. So I think this is about as good as it's going to get. There's a 0.01% chance this works, but we're going to go ahead and put it in and hope it does. It didn't work. I knew there wasn't much of a chance it was gonna work, but it was worth a shot. The next thing that I wanna address is this absolutely awful tint that's on the windows. I wanna go ahead and at least get it off the side windows for now. I know it's gonna be pretty difficult, but this is actually to the point where it's so bad that I actually really can't see through the side windows while driving. So I'm driving with the windows down, which is cold. So I wanna get this off. I have a steamer iron thing that I'm gonna use to help me get this off, and we're just gonna go at it to try to get this tint stripped, because this is more than just ugly. It's actually kind of a hazard. So let's go ahead and try to get this completely stripped off so we could actually see out the windows as intended. Okay, so I got the tint off, and it was so much easier than I was anticipating. Like, it took me maybe 15 minutes tops to get every window done. Seriously, like, it was so poorly on there that all I had to do was get a razor and kind of pull up an edge and get it off. And on the back window, I actually didn't even need to use a razor. I could just straight up use my hands and it came right off. That's how bad of condition the tint was. But now it's so much better because I'll be able to see through these windows now that they're clear and not all dark with some garbage tint. So that is huge. And plus it looks so much better. Oh my goodness, just from blue garbage tint to now a clear, good looking window. That's nice. That is nice. So next thing on the list of us to fix, it's these LED interior lights that I've had. Now they've kind of come off and the wires are all over the place. So what I've done is I converted, oh, I'm in a weird position to show you, is I took out the plug from plugging into the cigarette lighter, which was just weirded up to the middle, and I'm using the USB port from our head unit, and I took that to a cigarette lighter converter, and now I'll be able to run this underneath the trim. So what we need to do is we need to tuck all these wires under the trim, as well as remount this underglow here up to the side. And then the other thing that I want to do is I just want to rip off this carbon fiber wrap. It was cool when it was first on, but during the heat of summer it now looks ridiculous straight up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull off this center console so that way we can take that off, and then when I put it back on, we're gonna go ahead and tuck up these wires and remount the light. So that is the next thing on the list of things to do. After what was a lot of busy work, it seemed like we are finally at a point where we have the car to a stable position where it is drivable. We have the battery fixed, we got the headlights fixed, we got the tint removed. We didn't fix the heater, but it is what it is. You can't be super picky. Honestly, I'm just happy that I could actually start driving this car more. Now, if and when this car eventually explodes, sure, it'll be sidelined again, but for the time being, I'm definitely going to enjoy it. Heck, even having the interior a bit cleaned up with the lights not dangling all with the wires on the floor, it's just so much better and a nice improvement to the car to be able to have it to a position where it really just isn't as much of a cumbersome task to get in and drive it. So that brings us to an end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to share with you guys more progress that we're making on the 3000, the good, and unfortunately some of the bad. But we'll get to that next week. I'll see you guys next time. Adios.